Hello everyone and welcome back. This episode, unintentionally, has ended up holding quite a few life lessons that I'll share real fast before we dive in. Number one, don't envision a scene in your head too much before you go out and shoot. The conditions will more than likely disappoint you. Number two, have fun anyways and enjoy the moment because that's what photography is truly all about. And finally, number three, hiking with the lightest camera that you have is glorious, and I will probably never hike more than 5 miles with a normal camera setup ever again. There's probably some foreshadowing in there somewhere, but I'll let you figure that one out. For those of you who are new to the channel, my wife and I currently live in Eastern Washington and travel often to take photos in some of the beautiful areas here in this corner of the United States. In this video, I'll be showing my own photos as well as some of hers. We've been in Washington for almost 3 years now and have always had this goal of seeing the wildflowers in bloom near Mount Rainier National Park. But every summer, work gets busy and we end up missing the window. But this time, we weren't going to let that happen. Now, one thing I want to address before we move on are the rules, and there are different rules sort of for every national park regarding filming and photography within the park. I had read mixed things on the national park's website and seen some people catching flack from people on the comments of YouTube videos and things for filming in the park. And I wanted to make sure that I was actually allowed to do this before going. To officially understand this, I found a contact for Mount Rainier National Park who deals with the filmmaking and photography permits and explained our situation, the size of the crew, what equipment we'd have, and how we'd plan to monetize the video, but only by having ads here on YouTube. And that this wasn't a production being paid for by some production company for hire. She gave us the all clear via email, so we booked the trip and thanked her for her time and explanation. Hopefully this information can also help others out there who have been confused by this whole topic. Just be sure to check with the individual parks because they do all have varying restrictions around the filming process. With that out of the way, we packed up the car, sadly leaving Carl behind this time. I know, I'm sorry, because there are no dogs allowed in the national park. And we hit the road. It was about 4.5 hours to our first destination on the drive, but we made a few stops along the way to get gas, stretch the legs a bit, and check out the views along the Columbia River. We were just driving along, what is this road, 12 or 410 on the way to Mount Rainier. Hello, Squeaky Gate. And we saw this little community park, so we figured we'd just kill some time. We can't get into the park until after 3 p.m. because we didn't make a reservation, but we plan on doing a sunset hike there. But for the time being, we're gonna check out this little park and just see what's going on. I like this shot here between all of them, but we've got this little squiggly do here coming off the side that I'm not a big fan of, so trying to work something out to avoid that. perform something.
Huh?
You gotta perform something. From here, we continued our journey west into the mountains and were welcomed with a newly active wildfire in the area. Thankfully, this wasn't in the exact area that we were headed to, and the heroes of the wilderness, seriously, these fire crews are some of the bravest people ever, were already on the scene battling it. We got through with only a slight delay and hopped out of the car for a short hike around some mountain lakes where the purple and yellow wildflowers were already visible from the road. Quick side note, Jillian takes, and I mean this, an eternity to finish a roll of 35mm film. We literally just developed and scanned these last week, even though we filmed this video over a month ago because she wasn't done finishing the roll yet. I thought it was interesting though to see my digital photo edits next to her film photos in the timeline because they actually looked pretty similar. She shot on Kodak Gold 200 for this trip. I went through and edited mine using my preset system for Lightroom. Link in description. Right after we got back from the trip. And so they were done far before the film was processed. And it was kind of cool just to see the similarities in some of the circumstances. We got back to the car and made some chicken salad sandwiches out of the cooler, which were delicious despite Jillian breaking the spoon in half on the first scoop. Cheap plastic spoon, never a great solution. Here's current update. We made it all the way to the sunrise area of Mount Rainier National Park. First time here, and as you can see, you can't see shit. So it's totally fogged in. It's almost like misting outside. Everyone's kind of hanging out around the gift shop area. Doesn't look very promising for our hike that we were going to do, which was going to be like a 5-mile, 1,000-foot elevation gain thing to this really cool lookout tower, but we want to do that for sunrise or sunset, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen. So we're going to pivot, and we're going to drive an hour and a half from here down to Paradise, which is another area of the park that is lower, kind of in the valley at like the base of the mountain. And hopefully we'll have better luck with that. And if not, we'll try anyways. We're just kind of scrambling at this point. So we'd rather try that and see if it's open down there. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. But welcome to the video. It's pretty hectic so far. Hopefully it's a good one. Guys, I'm sorry about the lack of cinematic video on this trip. We're trying. All right, we're playing with this Pocket thing, the Pocket 3. It's pretty cool. I'm trying to just be able to enjoy this trip a bit more, keep it more casual, but all I brought was the Fuji. I love that we're filming this in the rearview mirror, by the way. All I brought was a little Fuji X106 on this one. We're doing a lot of like longer hikes, so I really didn't want to trudge up a mountain with the Sony and the Mamiya and everything else in the bag, so we pared it down a bit.
I normally don't think it would need it, but it's very like heavily misting, which covers the camera really fast with water, so try to play it safe.
After being absolutely defeated by the weather on the first day, we woke up early in our extremely damp and disgusting hotel room that was severely overpriced and began the hour-long drive up the pass to the Paradise area of Mount Rainier National Park, where the biggest hike of the trip would happen, the Skyline Loop Trail. This is a very popular and fairly difficult hike, coming in at about 5.6 miles and 1,771 feet of elevation gain. Of course, the heavy fog was still there again the next morning, killing our hopes for the good light that I had envisioned on this hike, but we were determined to do it anyways, just for the experience, if nothing else. Although the fog was dense, as we began the hike, the atmosphere started to open up and made for some absolutely incredible light and scenery.
From someone who grew up in the Midwest to be at the base of a volcano like this is pretty insane.
You can probably tell that as we got higher into the hike, we have less footage, definitely not because we were struggling and sweating and saying hello to every chipmunk that we saw just to take a break and catch our breath. But we eventually broke over the entire fog wall, and that felt pretty darn great. top, we took a break, enjoyed the view that we had earned, and ate the snacks we packed in our bags. As much as we loved the chipmunks, we did not feed them anything, even if they looked extremely cute begging. The trek down was beautiful, but at this point, the light was pretty high and pretty harsh, so we gave the cameras a little bit of a break until we saw these deer near the start of the trail feeding in the tall grass. I would have taken a photo here as well, but they only stuck around for a few seconds. Later that night, we tried one last time to see the sunrise area of the park, but we were met with the familiar and frustrating wall of fog yet again. Knowing that we wouldn't do the full trail or even have time to, we decided to wander around some of the paths in the area and just enjoy being there for the final evening. The fog hung around with us until the very end. That's about it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and some of the images that we were able to get out there. As always, if you have any questions, please leave me a comment below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.